The news rippled quietly at first, like a whisper moving through Kumasi's early morning streets. But within hours, it had become a wave of excitement and gratitude across the metropolis. 4 new food bank branches, built and launched under the RNAQ Foundation, had officially opened their doors, offering a lifeline to families, individuals, and communities who have long carried the weight of economic hardship in silence. Before we dive deeper into today's update, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is key to helping us grow and reach more viewers like you. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on exciting updates. These new centers, located in Bantama, Asafo, and Loga, and Alabar, were not just structures built of concrete and steel. They represented a promise, a daily commitment, and a vision of a Ghana where no one goes to bed hungry. And at the heart of this movement stood Richard Ni Quaye, the president of RNAQ Holdings, personally leading an initiative that many traditional leaders have now described as historic. When people gathered at Bantama for the opening ceremony, they were not simply witnessing the launch of another charitable project. They were seeing something that felt bold, different, and deeply intentional. The Bantama Heen, Bafur Owusu Amankwati of A6, stood before the crowd and spoke with an honesty that captured the magnitude of what was unfolding. He said that in his lifetime, he had heard of philanthropists around the world, people who had built legacies through generosity that touched millions. But standing before the new Bantama Food Bank, he admitted that this was the first time in Ghana's history he had seen a benefactor commit to a gesture so consistent, so daily, and so deeply rooted in genuine care. To him, this was not just a donation. It was an extraordinary act of love for humanity, one that would echo through generations. The people listening could feel the truth in his words. In a time where economies are strained and families struggle under the burden of rising living costs, the promise of daily, reliable food support is more than just relief. It's restoration. It gives dignity back to those who wake up unsure of how they will feed their children. It gives hope to young people who watch their parents sacrifice endlessly. It gives comfort to the elderly, many of whom live quietly on the margins of society. And in a city as dynamic and populous as Kumasi, this kind of intervention becomes a powerful force, capable of changing not just individual lives, but the very spirit of a community. Standing beside the Bantamahene, Richard Ni Quaye took the microphone, humbled by the traditional leader's words and moved by the reception from the people of Kumasi. He spoke with a grounded sincerity, acknowledging the immense support that his business and his foundation had received from the city over the years. He did not speak like a distant executive, but like a man who understood that his success was intertwined with the trust and goodwill of the communities around him. It was that gratitude, he explained, that pushed him to initiate something that would not be a one-time intervention, but a continuous service. He pledged that the RNAQ Foundation would ensure food was available every single day, 7 days a week, for as long as possible, because true support, he believed, should never have off days. For those who had been following the Foundation's work, this expansion into Kumasi felt like a natural progression. The RNIQ Food Bank Initiative had been officially launched just a few months earlier on August 1st, 2025, at the La Palme Royal Beach Hotel in Accra. Since then, it had grown rapidly, establishing 5 branches in Accra, 1 in Cape Coast, and 2 in Tamale, before arriving in Kumasi with this ambitious 4-branch rollout. With these latest additions, the Foundation now operates a significant national network that is steadily moving toward its ultimate goal, planting a fully operational food bank in all 16 regions of Ghana. What makes the Kumasi expansion so meaningful is the scale and intentionality behind it. Opening 4 branches at once in one city is a bold statement, one that tells the people of Ashanti region that they are not an afterthought. Instead, they are a central part of the mission. These new branches are strategically positioned in areas where human activity, population density, and socioeconomic realities make access to daily food support not just helpful, but essential. Bantama stands at the heart of the metropolis. Asafo serves thousands through its bustling commercial environment, and Loga connects multiple surrounding communities, and Alabar remains one of the busiest, most vibrant urban centers in Ghana. Each branch is situated where it can reach the heartbeat of Kumasi. As news spread about the openings, people began to reflect on what this meant for the larger Ghanaian landscape. In a world where hunger continues to silently affect millions, initiatives like this often become the difference between despair and hope. The idea that a private foundation built from the vision of one individual could create a system that delivers daily food support across multiple cities is not just impressive, it is transformative. It rewrites expectations of what philanthropy can look like in Africa. It challenges the narrative that solutions must always come from government or international organizations. It shows that homegrown institutions can rise to meet national challenges with creativity, compassion, and consistency. What makes the story even more compelling and more powerful for the many viewers following this development is the emotional weight behind it. When people came to see the opening at Bantama, some were parents who had quietly struggled to make ends meet. Others were young people who had felt the squeeze of rising prices. Some were elderly residents who lived alone and often depended on the kindness of neighbors. Many stood in the crowd simply watching, their faces carrying the unspoken truth of what hunger feels like. For them, this initiative was not just news, it was a turning point. It was a reminder that there were people out there who still cared deeply, enough to build something permanent, something that would not disappear after a few weeks or months of media attention. As Richard Ni Quaye expressed his gratitude to Kumasi for its long-standing support, his message resonated with a simple but powerful idea. Giving back is not just an act, but a responsibility. The Foundation's long-term dream of building food banks in all 16 regions of Ghana no longer feels like an ambitious plan on paper. It feels like a mission already gaining steady momentum. And if the pace and passion behind this expansion are anything to go by, then Ghana may soon become a shining example of how a single vision, backed by commitment and compassion, can create a nationwide movement that touches countless lives. The Kumasi expansion marks a new chapter, not just for the RNAQ Foundation, but for the entire conversation around humanitarian support in Ghana. It sets a precedent, showing that philanthropy can be driven with the same strategic rigor, innovation, and long-term thinking that companies use to expand internationally. It shows that compassion can be structured, sustainable, measurable, and life-changing. And most importantly, it shows that true impact does not always begin with large institutions. It begins with people who care enough to act. In the days following the inauguration, as the 4 branches began serving their first beneficiaries, the conversations around Kumasi shifted. People no longer spoke only of challenges. They spoke of opportunity, unity, and hope. They spoke of the generosity that had flowed from the heart of one man to the heart of an entire city. They spoke of the possibility that one day soon, every region in Ghana would wake up knowing that no one within its borders would be left hungry or forgotten. And as this story continues to unfold, one thing remains clear. The opening of the 4 food bank branches in Kumasi is not just an event. It is a movement, a commitment, a promise that the future can be brighter, softer, and more compassionate than the past. A promise that Ghana is capable of building systems of care that are strong, structured, and enduring. A promise that humanity, at its best, still exists and is growing.
If today is your first time watching this channel or you are returning to this channel for the exciting content, please subscribe to the channel for more educative and developmental projects across Ghana and Africa as a whole. Do you want to know about the state of a project in Africa? Then make sure to like and comment the name of the project you would like us to talk about and its current state.